Now I just want to say, I've just got
This is the undecorated back bedroom, and I've just ordered, well, just received, waiting 4 months for them, 30 kilowatt hours of new batteries for my solar system. The way I go through electricity, I need more capacity.
I might put some push bike action in. I've been push biking every other day, trying to open the lungs back up again. It's extremely difficult trying to force the lung capacity back up and get the lungs working properly. They're just not working properly. Anyway, I fitted these batteries with long COVID and the after effects of COVID as well. I wasn't in the best of shape, and I was in agony during the attic section in this, serious agony.
Just a little footnote at the end here. Here's the BMSs. I think I've shown these in a previous video. I've got so many smart BMSs. I've got one smart BMS, and the rest are Dimbo ones. I don't remember how to tell this one. That's the smart one because it's got the connector in the back. And they're 8S, so they're not 7S, so it works out exactly right. So all 30 kilowatts are going up the attic. Plan of action is, at present, I've got a 2mm piece of steel left over from making the CNC machine. I'm going to cut it 1.2 meters by 66, sorry, 1.2 meters, yeah, by 0.66 meters. And pot rivet some angle line all the way around the edge, place all the batteries on it, and then build a box around it. That's plan A. Plan B, I'm just going to research on the internet now and see if I can make some, buy some metal containers which will contain one row with space around the outside. That way, let's say this battery goes and takes all these 8 with it, the other ones will be in separate fireproof containers and it won't affect those. Right, well, that's the idea. And this is why I didn't want to have a single 500 amp BMS, which is what this company sells and recommended for this lot. So they would recommend that I put 6p and do blocks of 6p, 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 and then do 8s with those 6p blocks, and then put one of these wires off the BMS. Sorry, I was lying about that BMS. That BMS isn't it? I can tell you one. But anyway, put one of these wires off each BMS onto each of the 6p wires. There is one in here. Oh, there we go. I've got it here. It's this one here. So this one's got all of that in the side of it, so you can link into your computer. You can do USB through UART. It's got NTC, I can't remember what that is, and it's got another connector here which I can't remember what it is. But this is a Bluetooth device anyway, so this has got Bluetooth in it. Hence it says BT on it, BT UART, so I can do USB and Bluetooth. So I will have the app, and then that will monitor one battery pack. So let's say that'll be monitoring that battery pack, and then all these battery packs will be linked in parallel. I'm getting over COVID and it doesn't matter what I do, I'm getting out of breath doing everything. Also I have to think about things as well because it's really hard. So this will be the smart pack, and then all these will be just normal packs without any information coming back off of them. And I'll obviously get a total voltage off of this, and the total voltage off of this will be approximately what the total voltage on all of these other ones, because they're all linked in parallel basically. this row will be series linked, as will with that one, as will with that one, as will with that one, blah 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 blah. So they'll all be series linked 8, and then we'll have 6P with only one intelligent. So when I get the app up on my phone or my tablet, I'll measure what this one's saying and the capacity of this one and what each cell on this one is saying, and I'll be able to see that through the application. I won't be able to see any of these other packs at all. If this works out, I shall leave it. What I may get is I have another Bluetooth device which measures 24 volts. So I might get a Bluetooth for the average over each of these other cells as well. Which I probably should have done in the first place anyway, but it doesn't matter. So I've got in the attic already on the 24 volt battery pack up in the attic on the lead acids. Anytime I want on one of my tablets, I can just bring up a simple app which just shows voltage, and that's all it shows is the voltage. And I can do that from anywhere inside the house via Bluetooth. Okay, 16 have gone, and they are up in the attic. There they are. 8 in there so far, and 8 in there. And I can't get a very good shot at the moment because I'm halfway up a ladder, but I'm going to wire them up now with the BMSs and then stick 8 more in front of each one. And I'll show you how I do that. So there's another 8 there, and another 8 there, plus those 60 in there, so that's 32 batteries up at the moment. The other 8 will be going in this cabinet here, which, oh there you go, there's the doors on top. That's in the orientation where I can just pull it towards me and then push it in there and then fold it down and push it in when those batteries are out of the way. Problems I'm having. That's a 6mm hole, and I could drill it out, but it ain't going to be pretty if you drill it out. Just gone down and got 10 M10s to crimp onto the end of my wires. So the wires coming down from the battery to the inverter, so the inverters run M10, like this inverter over here. Got M10 hardware connections at the back there, and the drop down thing is a mega fuse. Now the batteries here, that's an M8 hole, so that's 8mm thread, and that's the nuts and bolts they give you. Everything's M8. So I needed some connectors to go on the end of the wires for the BMSs. Each one of these is for the basic BMS, and they come with that connector on. So I got some bread sized M8 crimp-on connectors for them, for the BMS. And I tried to get some connectors to go from M6 to M8, small little link bars, so I could just put a link bar off of the end of that and then bolt onto the link bar. Couldn't find any, so I just ordered some mega fuses with M8 holes in them. So there'll be an M8 mega fuse coming off the positive, no sorry, off the negative on whatever side the negative is, coming off here, and then the BMS. We've got power negative and battery negative, so the battery negative will go on there, it will actually be coming off there like that, and then the solar and the inverters will be connected to the power. Obviously if anything goes wrong, the BMS cuts off and doesn't allow the negative to go through it anymore. It's just like a big switch for 100 amps. It's a 100 amp switch. Intelligent, slightly intelligent, i.e. it can measure the voltage of each battery individually. Any cell goes down, it cuts off. The voltage goes below a certain threshold, it goes off. If voltage goes above a certain threshold, it goes off. It's there to protect the battery system. It's a battery management system. The more intelligent one has this wiring set up, so it has a Bluetooth module which plugs into one of the ports, and then it has a USB for doing USB stuff. I don't know what you do with that. I think you just plug it into you can just plug it into a computer and get an application and then read your data that way as well. I shall be using the Bluetooth. So for today, I can't complete it. And this needs to be done like yesterday. And the other thing is I'm running lithiums now. See this packet here? Can you make out those individual bricks in there? Yeah. Okay. Well, we're looking at the cabinets now, and underneath the cabinets you see those bricks. So I've laid out, and they are fireproof bricks. So let's say a battery does set off. These have got little vents in them. Let's show you that. And if something does happen, they just tend to vent a lot of gases out of that. They don't tend to set on fire, these don't. These are quite safe. But they do vent out of that, and they could set on fire. So, because of that, I've got a new fire alarm, which I'll be setting off up here. Not setting off, I will be setting up here, and that will go up in the roof. Now, up in the roof, right there, that is the old chimney. That's all that's left of it. You've got the stack on top of the roof, and then you've got the entrance into the chimney. It's just a vent now, like it's just a roof vent basically. So any smoke will just vent straight out of that. Now I am contemplating, now I've seen everything and how compact it's going to be, leaving the lead acids up here and maybe just running the garage off of those. Or a small kilowatt system, or a 2 kilowatt system, because that will keep the lights on in the workshop for hours and hours and hours. Well, I've just spent the last who knows how long crimping all these ends on. So this will be a connector. It's got 8 ends crimped on it, and then testing them all, and this is the last one I've just tested now. So that can go in the pile, and in all those, guess which one broke or didn't work? Yes, you guessed it, the most important one. So I think it was that connector. I have to go through and test all of those again and see which one it is, but one of those isn't crimped properly. I think it's that one. Not happy at all. Could be that one. So I didn't cut the ends of the wires off when I started these. So on the other ones, they came pre-soldered at the end with a little bit nipped off, and I just went ahead and crimped these straight on. 3 didn't work. I re-crimped all 3 of them, and one still doesn't work. So I've removed all the plastics. As you can see, they all fall off. Well, they don't fall off, you have to tease them off. So I'm going to have to take these downstairs and solder each one individually, just to make sure that they are connected. And then that is that job out of the way, because that is time consuming, tedious, and hurts your hands. Righty-ho, I know the lighting isn't great, but we are in one of the cabinets. And inside the cabinets I have 8 bolts lined up. Got 4 screws here, and the BMS wires, and link bars. These are a bit better than I thought. These are laminated, and a plastic thing which I've made to hang the BMS on. I'm going to put you somewhere where you might be able to see what's going on. I can't tell. I think you can see that there. So I am going to come in now. It's quite difficult getting in here. This here is going on the battery terminals, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to get a good shot in there. yeah, so I've drilled out that. I've got 6 of those, one for each battery pack, so that hangs there like thus, thusly so. Yeah, you can see that. So the idea of this is the wires for the BMS will not reach from one side of the pack to the other side of the pack easily, but if I line the BMS up so it's there, so the back end of it's there, then they will reach the end of the pack. So once this is hanging on here and the BMS is screwed on here and there, the wires will start on the 3rd battery and they will reach to the 8th battery. So I will just use these self-tapping screws, which are here. If you can see one, there you go. So they've got a little drill on the end of them, and I'm now going to attach this how I want it. And I've got these lined up. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show you this here. So the sticker facing out, you can see the sticker facing out. That there, I'm not sure if you can see it in the mirror. I can see it. It says negative. This one positive, negative, blah blah blah, all the way down, alternating each way. So the way this BMS wiring works is, got this wire here. It starts with a black wire at the bottom there, and that goes to the first negative terminal. The first red wire above it goes to the positive terminal on that battery, and then each sequential red wire going up that goes on each positive. So on this one the front, that one the back, this one the front, that one the back, and so on and so forth, all the way to the end. So I'm going to do that now, and it's difficult. There we go. And obviously this has to be on for that to work, because when this comes across here to link those 2 terminals together, which would be these second 2, which would be there and there, then it has to be there, because otherwise I can't get it on afterwards. Excellent. And this is nylon, by the way. I ordered some sheets of nylon, cut them up, drilled 3 holes in it, and then heated it and vented it into a 90-degree thing like that. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you're seeing that. There you go, like that. Okay, there's a bit of discoloration where I heated it, but not to worry. So I've got to get on with this now. Not sure if you can see, but in there, right back here, I have just placed the first copper bus bar. So I am going to continue from there backwards. Why not? And I haven't got the wires required to finish this project off. So I'm going to have to reach in here after I've done all this and do some more stuff afterwards. I can't see what that shot looks like. I just can't see it, Captain. Can we move that around there? I don't know what you're seeing there. You're seeing something. Anyway, that one will be off this wire. You can see which one's black and which one's red. So this first one at the top, that's that one. The furthest away from the black, I shall have to put a bolt through that. So I'll just grab a bolt. There we go. And that's on the positive. No, it's not. Man, that's here. That is here. So don't forget it. That one goes there. Next, the second one along. This will be the second wire. We're making sure it's the second wire. It is. We're making sure we're putting the bolt through the right way. And we are. And that will go to the positive on the second battery. Or the 7th battery. Okay, that is there. And we'll have that sort of pointing this way, and then we'll put another bolt through the first battery, or the 8th battery, and we'll see how the alignment goes on. Is there going to be a gap between these batteries? Slightly. So there we go. That's the negative on that battery. First bus bar installed. Now I don't know whether to put these BMS wires under or over the bus wires, over the bus bars for neatness. I'm going to put them underneath it. So the second bus bar I am putting into position now. And just to make sure that I am doing it right, we'll have a look here. And that's a positive there. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, I can. This closest terminal is positive. So I'll need the third wire on this BMS wire, like this, and make sure I'm putting the bolt through the right weight, so they're all going through the same weight, and we'll put that in there. That goes to that positive. I'll have that coming off at that angle there, so it's pointing in the direction I want it. And another bolt in. And I take it this is going to have to do that. There's going to be a gap in between these, and by the way, that's pigeons on the roof. I should get the air gun out and shoot the little gits. And we'll put the third bus bar on, which will be the opposite side. And I'm going to start getting electric shocks if I don't watch it now, because this battery's going to start building up in voltage now. And put your hand across it and you get a shock. So I will get the fourth along, and if you wanted proof it was a pigeon, there you go. That's a warning call saying I can hear some noise underneath me. And the positive on that one should be the opposite side. Oh my god, no, be careful, you don't want to get electric shock, because you will start getting towards the point where you're going to get electric shock. Come on, bolt, start. And so on and so forth. I'm starting to ache now, so there might be some swear words, so I'm going to turn you off until I come to fit the BMS. Oh, I'm coming to the point where I need to put the BMS on, which I completely forgot, as you would. And there's the bus bar for it, because I'll just remove the bolts from it. And here comes the BMS. I'm knocking and banging around. The BMS will hang on there like that. That bus bar can go across, like so, and looks beautiful. Just double check that this is the one that I want to put on. Double, triple, mega checking everything, because it's got to be right. If I don't get this right, the BMS goes pop as soon as you plug it in. So this has got to be absolutely right. I don't see why it should go pop as soon as you plug it in, but it will, apparently, according to the literature. I've over tightened that bolt. I don't want to do that tight. I want a bit of slackness there. And that bolt's going easy there, which I found out as I've been going along. Right. So now that BMS can't fall off. Although it's not tight, it can't fall off. Impossible. And then the last one, I should get some wrist shock off this if I don't watch out. I need to get a positive on the end of that last one there. And link the last positive up. Then we can plug the BMS in a second and see if any smoke comes out of it. I doubt it, I think it's going to be good. And then we can measure the voltage on it and see if it's volted up. So I'll just get the last bus bar on, make the last connection, and we'll get the voltmeter. Good, 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 good. She is all in. Now I need the negative BMS wire, bolt through that, the adapting fuse which I've got to get a M8 from an M6, that can go in there like that, and now the battery is officially together with a 100 amp fuse holding it. All the bolts are loose-ish, and they're not loose but they are loose-ish, but tight enough to do voltage checks. So theoretically now I should be able to take measurements from the BMS wires here, put my negative in here, and the voltage should gradually go up until I get to the 8th. So I'm just going to get a multimeter and we'll see if... I'm not sure what you're seeing. I know what I'm seeing. This bottom one's black. And hard to manipulate. And I think you can see some voltage there now. So nothing. 3.3, 6.6, 9.9, 13.3, 16.6, 19.9, 23.2, 26.5. Okay, that is that. And at present we have negative here onto the positive 21, 20.9 volts. Okay, I don't know why it's got 20.9 volts, but it has. And then through here 26.5. So I guess it's just holding a resistance on the medulla inside. I guess the semiconductor is just semiconducting inside, whatever semiconductor they're using. And as soon as I plug this in, I don't know which way it plugs in. I think it plugs in this way. As soon as I plug it in, it should turn on. So now it should be turned on. There you go, 26.5. 26.5. Right, so we'll have that unplugged for the time being and take it back off again. There we go. And I'm going to tighten up all of the joints on top. Bearing in mind, you can see down this end there, I'm going to have to take extra wires, so I'm going to have to disconnect this again and disconnect that again. Well, I might have to disconnect the negative side because I'm going to be putting a voltage sense onto each battery pack. So I haven't got all the wires I need. I've ordered a set of 8 core wires. There'll be a ground negative and then a positive. Oh yeah, so I've got to do this side on each one. So I've only got to do the positive on each one. So there's going to be a ground negative and then a positive off of each battery. I'm having one multimeter in the wall, a digital voltage reader and temperature sensor, and it's a nice little meter for downstairs so that I can see the voltage of each battery pack when I want to. So I've set up another light which is on one of the inverters down there, just an LED floodlight to give me a little bit more light in the corner there, making it a bit easier. The first battery bank is there. That is it, all set up. The positive 24 volt battery terminal, the positive end of that rack is still finger tight, and the negative end, the BMS connection to the battery, is still finger tight, and the BMS isn't plugged in, as you can see. Now I'm going to stack 8 batteries in front of it. So by the way, that's 5 kilowatts. I'm going to put another 5 kilowatts of battery in front of it and do the same connection as that, leaving the BMS connected and 2 ends loose. Then I shall move on to this box. Inside that box there's another 8 batteries. And then I will put these here 8 batteries into that box and set them up. After that, that box is more or less complete apart from the voltage sense wires that I'm going to put onto it. At that point, I can shut those lids down and put all of those lead acid batteries in front of that cabinet, sticking out a little bit. Pull this cabinet and put this cabinet in where those batteries are. Oh, I've just turned all lighting off, obviously apart from the main lighting. Anyway, there you go, that's 32 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries wired up in 8S configurations. Fingers crossed the shutter's shut. This second one doesn't look like it's going to, but I will force it somehow. Whatever needs to be done will be done. I don't see why one would be deeper than the other, but it does seem that way. Anyhow, they're all wired up, they're all tested and ready for main battery connections to be fed through all the grommets to them, and the battery voltage sense wires to be attached in the appropriate locations. Things are nearly done now. There's one problem. As you can tell by the fans in the background, the inverters are going. Well, the 8 kilowatt inverter at the back there, it's just been running a 1 kilowatt heater all day, which is why it's warm in here, because it's a cold day in England today. I've got the house to 21 degrees centigrade with 1 kilowatt, that's perfect. The batteries are full, and I've just turned on the 5000 watt, which is actually a 2.5 kilowatt in front of it, and that's what's supplying the LED light which is shining from this side. You'll notice there's no BMS on this one here, but in the corner there's a BMS, it's hard to see, and on this one here you can see the BMS on this one. And I contacted Dali and told them this isn't working from new out the box, and they sent me a YouTube video which shows how to jump start these, so I'm going to try that procedure now. Here we go. Don't know if I'm going to be in shot. Let's see. Yeah, looks like you're in shot. Good. Right, screwdriver. I think what I'll do for a start, I'll lay down and cover the light up a little bit. I've got these jump cables here. This is a 30 amp jump cable. And I'll just wrap wire around it to keep it together, as you can see. Just a bit of metal wire. A gardening wire it is. So, what we have here is a connection onto the negative terminal. So that's battery negative, and then on the other side, make sure these aren't touching. It won't matter actually, because I'm putting negative and negative. So that's the other side. Okay, these are just 30 amps, and I'm going to have a connection onto the negative on the inverter, which is the load. And the red is from the battery, so I'll put that onto battery negative. Here, battery negative. So that's clipped onto the battery negative of the Dali. Should have bought my Bluetooth up on me really on my phone to see if the Bluetooth starts working. So that's plugged in there nicely. Then I'm going to put the load on, which is the inverter, onto the other side. Hang on, do you want to do that? Yes you do. So I'm going to put the load onto the other side. So we've got the load on it, and now I'm going to plug the BMS wires in, and that shall bring on the BMS, supposedly. So it should have turned on now, but it doesn't. And we can prove that with a voltmeter. So I've got a voltmeter here, and I'm putting it to 200 volts because it goes to 20. This is 24 volts, so it goes to 20, 200. So I've had to put it in the 200 volt mode. We've got a negative, so let's go into the positive side of the terminal up here. Go across here into the positive, like What else? Right, so I've plugged into the positive on that battery. On the battery negative side, we've got battery voltage 26.4. On the other side, we've got battery voltage, which is 26.4. So in theory, that should be on now. But I know full well it is not on, because if I disconnect the load now, which I'm going to disconnect the load, there'll be no spark. Get off. And if I go onto the side, 25.6. If we just look on that side there, so we've got the voltmeter up there. If I touch onto it, 25.6. I don't know if you can see that. I'm pretty certain you can see it. So what they said was reconnect the load and then short the two terminals out. So I'm just going to short two terminals out now, which isn't going to do anything. I know it isn't. So I've shorted the two terminals out. They said short two terminals out and that jump starts it. So there we go, shorted the two terminals out, properly shorted, pull them apart again. Bluetooth dongle hasn't lit up, it wasn't anyway, and I've got battery voltage obviously because I'm connected to it. So we've got battery voltage on that terminal now. There's battery voltage. And I'm just going to disconnect the black wire. So disconnect the black wire, and voltage has come back down to 25.6. That BMS is dead. Guaranteed it's dead. Absolutely guaranteed. So I'm going to see if that Bluetooth module is lit up now, which I don't think it has. We'll plug it back on there. We'll short that back together again. Apparently that should have woke it up. Bluetooth module isn't flashing or anything. I'm going to go and get the phone now, put the app in and see if the Bluetooth module's come on, which I don't think it has. There we go. This is what they've asked me to do. So anyway, the object of this is the closing part of the video. You've seen me put it together, you've seen how I've done it. All the other BMSs are working, as far as I can tell. I haven't fully tested them yet, but I will be getting on to fully testing them very shortly. Alright, we're back in at the noisy battery installation, and this is the Dali BMS, which they won't do warranty on, and they say there's nothing wrong with it. And well, it was broken from new. I just did all the installations on them all exactly the same time. So here is a identical BMS from another company. The only difference being is this one is black and this one is red. They're both smart BMSs and they look identical. To me, they look identical. And this one comes with the temperature sensor installed into it, so I'm not going to pull it out. It also comes with identical fitting instructions. And a bunch of wires which looks the same as the other bunch of wires, just in their own colours, which is black and not red. Alright, the BMS is in place. It's on 100 amp fuse connected to the battery minus on the minus side. I have my voltmeter set up in 200 volts DC. I'm going to put the red lead onto the positive side now, and we'll test battery voltage, which is 26.5, and the output side, which is 17. So this one's working, this one's perfect. And as soon as I plug it in, it's going to start working. I know it is because it's the same as the other 5 which were working. So I'm going to plug this in now, and we'll test the voltage again, and I'm expecting it to be working now, although they say you need to jump start it. So the output voltage, no, 0.84, so you have to jump start it. So I'm going to jump start it now from the positive cable, either this one here which I've set up, but yeah, that one there. So now that should have jump started it. So let's see what voltage we've got now. .5. Let's see with the thing connected. Oh, come on, stay on. 26. And straight off again with the thing connected, disconnected. So I'm just going to disconnect it, connect it on. I don't know if the Bluetooth's working yet or not. Just disconnect it again. And I'll reconnect it with all the wires connected now. And hopefully it will come on. We will see. This will be the moment of truth. How many wires have I got to connect here? Let's put the temperature sensor on top of the batteries. Come on. Just get in there somewhere. Stay in. This is getting quite frustrating now because it's just very frustrating. In fact, I might jump start it and leave it jump started and do the settings like they said. So it's on. Let's put this in here. That should be on now. Let's check the voltage again. Onto the positive, onto the negative. 26.5. Is the Bluetooth working? Let's see if the Bluetooth's working now. Because theoretically the Bluetooth should be working now. So let's open the app up. Agree to the app. And see if anything's coming up. Go into the Bluetooth itself. Oh yeah, I think I can see a light on the Bluetooth. I don't know. Let's have a look. Yeah, DL. That's pairing. And it's not doing anything. Ah, it's found it. Connecting. Yay! It's working! 7 degrees centigrade. Okay, so it's obviously got an onboard temperature protection. Charge switch on, discharge switch on. Okay, so that seems to be all those. Status, the battery's at 26.5. It's got a minus 10 amp discharge at the moment. I don't see why. Oh, I know why, because it's connected to a charger. Okay, yeah, okay, no worries. So obviously something's just turned on. I don't know what's just turned on, but it has. So we'll turn it back off again, and now I'm going to do the final connections and see if it's still working. Cool. Right, so I'll turn off the Bluetooth. Yeah, exit the application. Go in here. Yeah, the DL's disconnected. The data link 7667 blah 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 DF is disconnected. Cool. Okay. Righty ho, I have made the final connections. They're here. So it's connected to the battery up there with the BMS, it's all connected in here. We've got the Bluetooth on here, is it on? I've got, yeah, the Bluetooth light's working, is it? I can't tell. Let's see. Phone, where are you? Here. Right. App. Smart BMS. Yep, the DL's in the list. Pressing DL, connecting, connected. Zoom, working. So, I've done nothing different for this one. This isn't working. To what I've done for that one, and that is working. So it's telling me now that the state of health is 48%. State of charge is 48%. And power today is 0.42 kilowatts. I'll reset that at the end of the day, but not to worry. Current is 0 amps at the moment, minus 1.5 amps. Let's see what we've got charging at the moment. Yeah, 27 watts plus 71 watts, so there's nothing charging. So yeah, bits are coming out of the battery now, because the sun has gone behind the clouds. 0 amp, so the charge rate's gone up, has it? No, not really. 27 watts, but nothing must be on. Yeah, something's on. The fridges may be on or something like that. And I don't know. Differential vehicles, cycles, status. I don't know how to go through all this app yet. All I know is it's working. I'm seeing things. Things happen just when you don't want them to, don't they? I've got the door frame on the floor of the garage and the table next to it. Can't get to any of the milling machines. Luckily I can get to lathes, but the only real workspace I've got left is a drawer open on me snap-on semi-reconditioned toolbox. Let's forget this was crushed underneath a 4-poster ramp. None of the drawers are opened at all, and all the casters were smushed into the base of the roll cab. It was foobar. The lid was bent, everything was knackered on it. It's now working again. Just needs a good paint job now. One of those rough ones which look old. Anyway, so I've got to change some broken spokes. This one, stainless steel one which I put on, it's broken before. So we need black spokes. I'm up with some black ones. And then we're going to re-spoke that and trim it back up again. Okay, this is perfect because I've done around about 15 miles on it with 2 broken spokes, so it is all over the shop. I've just put 2 engineer's clamps on and they're already touching, so it's touching this side and it's touching the other side. I don't want it to touch the other side, but it is. I'm moving that by hand, so I've got it just resting in loosely, and you'll see that the wheel isn't balanced neither. So that's wheel balance out. So that'll be a matter of me putting some weights on some spokes just to balance that out afterwards, which is a different story, but you want as best wheel balance as you can get. But the main thing is now, as we're looking at the wheel, it's obviously going side to side because it's buckled, but also you've got to be watching for the in and out motion as well. So there's an in and out motion and a side to side motion, and you want it to be as true as possible. These are good rims, so there should be no run out forwards and backwards, and that'll be ovality, or just the whole rim will be pushed to one side because you've tightened these spokes. So you've loosened these spokes too much and you've tightened these spokes too much, so the whole rim sort of goes that way in relation to the hub. The idea is to get it central to the hub, so you want the perimeter of the wheel to be actually located to the axle, and you want no side to side run out. That's the idea, and the way you do that is with a spoke key. I have a spoke key here, so just a quick shower. We'll bring the wheel round, and it's just touching here now. So I want the spokes, which are on this side, to tighten up, so that will pull the wheel this way a bit. So let's see if we've got any broken spokes there. And here it is, here's the broken spoke. So if I tighten up the broken spoke, maybe that will be the ticket. So we're just going to tighten up the broken spoke here. And you do that by getting oil on your chain. And we'll do that. And see if the gap appears here. Of course it will. If you do it the right way, because obviously righty tighty lefty loosey is wrong on this one. Long time since I've done this. But there we go. It is now pulling the wheel away. It won't be touching there anymore, so we'll not move it. And now the wheel doesn't touch there anymore. So now we'll find the other broken spoke, what we did, because we're doing this, we're just doing a repair, we're not doing a full re-spoke. So that's the other spoke, and because that's pulling it that way, and it's gone that way, we have a problem, Captain. So I don't know what I'm looking at, I should be looking at the screen. So we're still going that way, so we need to put it this way, which means the spoke's on this side. Ah, it is on this side, here we go, it could be this one here. So if we do this one, yeah, it is this one I put in. If we do this one here, just a couple, just to bring it into the centre, and hopefully that will be repaired. Let's get it off, reseat that in again, and just by doing the two spokes that you've replaced, you're now within rocking distance. So now you just continue to go around the rim bit by bit doing that, and obviously I'm using the frame as a jig here, and you need to be looking out down here as well so we can get this in shot. I'm not sure if it's going to be in shot or not. The light isn't very good, so clearly, oh, there it is. I'm trying to stay steady, but it's very difficult, sorry. It's a bit out of whack, it's a bit ovality there. That takes quite a while to get out. So I've got to get that out as well. And obviously handheld is going to be no good. So yeah, the wheels, probably, I mean for a racer, someone that's racing, that would be had it. But I've just got a mountain bike with extremely thin tyres on for going on the road with. Because I like mountain bikes, and I ain't too bad for a mountain bike on the road. So you've got a good down curve and what have you. And I won Continental Contact tyres, as they're called. City Contact Continentals. Safety system. There we go, that's my push bike being repaired by me.